It made me cry.
This One's Wife. Meghan's use of music. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. A number of you have written to me asking about the recent use of music by this one's wife. And naturally, as your glorious narrator, I am content to explain what her use of music is all about. Narcissists commonly make use of music. Indeed, the use of music in the seduction phase is invariably a red flag that points to a narcissistic indicator which may denote that you're being seduced by a narcissist. Now, many people convey their feelings with music. This is because music can stir up in many people strong emotions: excitement, passion, longing, melancholy, a sense of power, a sense of invigoration. It's also the case that the accompanying lyrics may be viewed as profound, as meaningful, as able to say something in a way that the individual who is listening isn't able to articulate themselves. Thus, it is not uncommon for people to express their feelings through music. It might be, for instance, denoting that a particular song is our song. This was the song that was playing when we first met, or this was the song that we first danced to, or this was the song that we were both into, or this was a very popular song around the time that we got together. And it's used to evoke memories, and couples often make reference to a song that is meaningful to them, perhaps forming their first dance should they become married. But a distinguishing factor when it comes to the narcissist is that where the narcissist utilizes music and songs in seduction and on other occasions, it's done repeatedly. It isn't a handful of songs, or maybe making a collection and saying, these songs remind me of you, or I made this mixtape for you, as used to be the case many years ago because I think you'd like the music. The narcissist will invariably bombard with music, sending links to YouTube videos or Spotify playlists for the purposes of conveying how they purportedly feel about the individual. Now, I've explained elsewhere that a lot of material that you find in pop and rock songs, etc., is actually generated by narcissists. And what this does is convey the narcissistic perspective of love and causes it to bleed into and conquer the mainstream. Songs about love are invariably dramatic. They are passionate. They utilize particular analogies to convey a deep-seated, earth-shattering kind of love. I have come to learn that love is actually more about patience, respect, support, consideration, accompaniment, all things that are generated by emotional empathy. But those things don't really make for very exciting song lyrics, and therefore it is invariably the narcissists or people who have been influenced by the narcissistic perspective, because it's so prevalent in the concept of romantic love, that then shape song lyrics in a particular way which cause people to think this is romantic and loving, when in actual fact it is just all of the shiny window dressing that is invariably created by narcissists. The representation of love that you witness in films, television, novels, poetry, Hallmark cards, and the lyrics to music is invariably influenced by the narcissistic perspective of what love is about. That dramatic, soaring, all-conquering, all-consuming concept of love. Thus, in the early stages of a seduction, a narcissist will often utilize music and lyrics to convey their feelings towards their victim. This serves two purposes. The first it's character trait acquisition, which, as you know by now, is one of the prime aims. This is because the narcissist is an empty vessel and therefore has to commandeer the thoughts and feelings of other individuals and use them for their own benefits, namely the assertion of control over the recipient. It's one thing for you to send one or two songs to somebody who is the subject of your admiration, your romantic inclination, or love, but the narcissist will invariably go overboard, providing a host of different songs and lyrics to the target. This is done because the narcissist in themselves invariably is unable to convey these thoughts and feelings because they don't actually have them, and instead they have to use somebody else's expression of them to then convey them on their behalf. It's also done to bring the person under control, essentially through flattery, by making them feel that they are very special, that they are loved, that they are the subject of such meaningful lyrics. This makes them feel flattered and therefore easier to control. Thus, it is common for a narcissist to utilize music and lyrics as a means to pursue the prime aims, and is often done in a love-bombing stage. It also appears elsewhere as the narcissist wants to convey a particular image, and what we have seen with this one's wife is that she has repeatedly used music to accompany the shitty videos that she pumps out on Instagram. Why does she do this? Well, you know, because she is a narcissist, she is pursuing the prime aims, albeit subconsciously. And what she's doing when she utilizes the music is ensure that she is portraying a particular image to cause people to be controlled by her selection of music, to respond positively to it, so that she then receives fuel, and to manage a facade of her being cool and down with the kids. Interestingly, much of her music doesn't appear to either be contemporary to now, or even contemporary to her own age of being in her mid-40s. Instead, it tends to be older music, which possibly might be an influence of what she was exposed to by her mother and father. Either way, it's not genuine because she's a narcissist, and she's utilizing music that has accompanied many of her videos for the purposes of the assertion of control, the drawing of fuel, and the management of a particular facade of being cool. But there's been a recent development which prompted many of you to contact me, which was in respect of her choice of the LL Cool J song, Doing It, whereby the lyrics are rather explicit. Let's dive in. The video itself shows LL Cool J, presumably being cool, whilst there's various videos of him showing his torso and two dancers in tight-fitting clothing writhing provocatively. The idea is to convey sexiness and sex and wanting the person. Here are the lyrics. Yeah, check it out, baby. Make it hot, then we drop it, yeah, yeah. Def Jam, you know how we do it, yeah, word to mother, you make 'em rise. Okay. It's our first time together and I'm feeling kinda horny. Conventional methods of making love kinda bore me. I want to knock your block off, get my rocks off, blow your socks off, make sure your G-spot's soft. I'ma call you Big Daddy and scream your name. Matter of fact, I can't wait for your candy rain. So what you saying? I get my swerve on, bring it live. Make it last forever. Damn, the kitty cat's tight. Daddy, slow down your flow. Put it on me like G-baby, nice and slow. I need a roughneck N-word, mandingo in the sack, who ain't afraid to pull my hair and spank me from the back. No doubt I'm the player that you're talking about, but do you really think that you can work it out? I guarantee, shorty, it's real, baby, stick it out. Here comes the man of steel. Well, that's just one of the verses, and I don't propose to go through all of the song. That gives you a pretty good flavour of it, talking about making love and wanting to get his rocks off, and talking about the G-spot and screaming names and candy rain and the kitty cat's tight, reference to Mandingo, who is also known as Big Dick Fred. He's a porn star with a particularly large appendage, spanking someone from the back, i.e. doing them doggy style and giving them a smack on the backside. It's pretty explicit, and it's fairly clear what he's all talking about. And you might think to yourself, what a strange song for this one's wife to select to accompany the video of her pottering about with her usual flower arranging. Why has she selected this? Well, she's at it again with music, as she has posted once again on Instagram this video, which I don't need to provide you with because it's boring, just simply shows a post from someone called Sean Ngatia, no idea who that is, referencing yet more of the raspberry sludge and some of the crepes set upon a really narrow table with the obligatory bowl of lemons, Lord knows why, but is accompanied by music. And this one's wife has taken the post. Undoubtedly, Sean Ngatia was told, use my products, create a picture like this and then send it to me and I'll put it on my socials. And she has done so. And the music that plays is Do You Believe in Magic, which is by That Loving Spoonful. Once again, utilisation of music for the purpose of assertion of control and drawing fuel. You may not know, and I suspect this one's wife doesn't know this, that the name That Loving Spoonful makes reference to the amount of ejaculate that a man creates, similar to why 10cc were named that also. I doubt that she knows that, and there isn't a particular provocation. I think the reference there is about Do You Believe in Magic, to demonstrate that sending people raspberry sludge in a stupid container and rather unappetizing looking crepes smeared in raspberry sludge amounts to magic. But what was she doing with regard to the LL Cool J song? Well, on the one hand, one might think that she simply chose this song because it's got a good beat, etc., and it's not so much about the lyrics. However, remember, she is a narcissist, and therefore what she does when it's either a contemplated interaction or an actual interaction with people is governed by her narcissism's pursuit of the prime aims. I will continue to emphasize this point because there are still some people that don't get it and they think it's something else. Everything that this one's wife does when it comes to other people is driven in the pursuit of control, most likely fuel, possibly character traits, possibly residual benefits. She knows the lyrics. As far as I know, she is the one that is running her social media account. You can tell because of its amateurish way that it is presented. So it isn't the case that she has created some footage and then handed it off to a flunky and said, upload this for me and just choose a song, and somebody else has done. I suspect that this one's wife has selected the music. And by picking a song which has such explicit lyrics, this is an act of provocation. It's done to make people talk about her. It's done to make people react to it. That she wants to show that she's got a bit of edge, that she's a sexual person. Remember, she is a somatic narcissist, and therefore sex is a big thing for her. Being talentless and charisma-free and humour-free, it's one of the biggest tools, apart from her husband, that exists for the purposes of seducing people. With this one's wife, her sexual behaviour will be one whereby there's lots of noise being made, lots of dirty talk, and as Harry memorably said, she'll let you do anything. A lack of boundary recognition, sense of entitlement and lack of accountability means she'll get up to all manner of dirty behaviours. Filthy girl. However, this is all done in an entirely performative way. It won't actually be natural. And one suspects that it's big on performance and not so big necessarily on being that good at it. Undoubtedly, she'll have had a lot of practice. She's had a lot of sexual partners. And if the rumours are believed to be correct about her in effect being a used pleasure appliance, then in such circumstances, she has got plenty of practice in. But practice is only decent if you're practicing correctly. And with her, It's all about the performance rather than necessarily delivering the goods. Nevertheless, sex forms a big part of her shtick, a big part of the way that she manipulates, and therefore, using a sexual song performed by LL Cool J serves two purposes for her. First, it provokes to necessitate a reaction because reactions equal fuel, and secondly, it is portray a facade in relation to I'm a sexy kind of gal, I get down in this way, you want me, don't you? Narcissists use music. Narcissists use music because of the emptiness within and the commandeering of the thoughts, lyrics, and music of other people to convey a message. And here, this one's wife has utilised music repeatedly, and in relation to LL Cool J, she has done so to provoke, and in order to present an image of being sexy. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.